For decades, Saskatchewan has powered itself on resourcefulness, drawing strength from the ground beneath the communities built around it and us. Now, the province is considering the next major chapter in energy: nuclear power. SaskPower is moving through a multi-year planning process aimed at bringing a small modular reactor online by mid-2030s, with a commercial decision expected by 2029. With a preferred reactor technology selected and 2 potential sites near the city of Estevan under consideration, the conversation is shifting from possibility to true planning. Now, supporters say the opportunity for nuclear is significant. From long-term energy security and emission reductions to job creations, economic growth, and even positioning the province as a national leader in next-generation nuclear development. For the city of Estevan, though, and the surrounding region, the stakes are especially high, as communities look at what a project of this scale could mean both during construction and for decades to come. Now, at the most recent Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association in Regina, we caught up with the mayor of Estevan, Saskatchewan, Tony Cernick. The mayor and I talked about the path forward, from the decision between potential sites at Boundary Dam Reservoir and Rafferty Reservoir to why he believes nuclear could provide a major boost to the local economy in both the short and long term. This is Municipal Affairs.
You stepped up to serve your community. Now take your leadership to the next level. Introducing GEMS, Governance Essentials for the Municipal Sector, a practical, Saskatchewan-based training program designed for council members and those who support them. Whether newly elected or a seasoned leader, GEMS helps sharpen the skills that matter most: decision-making, accountability, financial stewardship, infrastructure oversight, and navigating the complex realities of municipal governance. This isn't your typical classroom. GEMS is flexible, online, and built for busy people. You don't need a university degree, just a commitment to good governance. For some, it's been years since taking a course. That's okay. GEMS is designed to build confidence and knowledge. There is a short assessment, but it's there to reinforce your learning, not to trip you up. If cost is a concern, talk to your administrator, as there may be grants available to offset some of the costs. Because when local leaders grow, entire communities benefit. GEMS, because good governance isn't just important, it's essential.
From the smallest villages to the largest cities, every day your urban municipality supports you. The water that travels from tap to sewer, the emergency services that keep you safe, the parks, libraries, and rinks that you enjoy. Our cities, towns, villages, resort villages, and northern municipalities are urban hubs bringing people together. We are urban. Celebrate your municipality as part of the urban family.
Mayor, thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting here in beautiful Regina at the 121st annual AGM of SUMA. Got to start with a very simple question. There's a lot of talk across Western Canada around nuclear, around small modular reactors. Estevan is hoping, I believe I can say that, or is a potential host of an SMR in the near future whenever SaskPower says so.
Estevan has been chosen the first site of Saskatchewan's nuclear, whether it's an SMR or now into the fold is the 1,000 megawatt, whichever it is, Estevan has been chosen the first site in Saskatchewan. So very exciting.
Very exciting. So in your community, I know we are 2 years after the election, but was nuclear a topic during the last election?
It didn't really come up that much. The actual announcement for Estevan to be chosen the site was probably 2 years before the election, so 4 years ago, right? So, no, everybody seems pretty positive on it. again, we're the energy city, and whatever, we were always looking for something for the future. Nuclear came up. It was between us and Elbow, so there was a little bit of a competition there, which we came
Sorry, Mayor of Elbow.
which we came out on top. So our advocacy on all fronts, because that's what we did, is we didn't know what the future brought. So, every organization, council and everything just got together and said, we need to, make sure that this gets built in Estevan. So, and so far so good.
So is there a site selection done?
No, not yet. We have two spots. We have Boundary Dam Reservoir, which Boundary Dam coal plant is on right now. Then we have the Rafferty Reservoir, which basically goes from Estevan to Weyburn. So I'm guessing it's going to be the Rafferty Reservoir that they're going to choose.
Why is that a guess?
Just for the, it just seems for the amount of water, if you will. So just the amount, it's not that they use that much water, but it's just that much more water for cooling. Whereas if, let's say, the coal plants were still scheduled to shut down, Boundary might have been chosen. It's just that it might be too much heat getting put back into the reservoir, so Rafferty's kind of untouched there. So,
are you, as mayor, okay with that decision, or would you rather see it one way or the other, or are you ambivalent about the issue right now?
We were just talking about save the bass, right? Yeah. So that's where, I always thought, Boundary Dam is already industrialized, if you will. But again, it's just the reality of it is it's just probably not a big enough reservoir for the size. It may be big enough for an SMR, but if they do choose the 1,000 megawatt, it's definitely too small of a reservoir for that. And went on an energy tour with Mr. Brian Zinchuk there, Pipeline Online, and because I was always kind of boundary, and they took me. As we were on this tour, you get to go see the beginning of Boundary, which is a creek about a foot wide. So you might not want to put a $10 billion investment on a creek that's 2 feet wide. So.
I've seen weirder things done in Canada, so don't go there.
That's right. So yeah, so whichever site, like I said, I'm guessing it's going to be Rafferty. But again, yeah, I'm for it, and everybody around seems to be for it. I haven't heard too much negativity. Obviously, there's the nuclear crowd, the negativity. I think once they pick the site, we'll get into a little more of the backlash or whatever. But so far, everybody's pretty positive.
And that's where I want to pick up on just for a second before we talk about the economic spinoff that the city of Estevan will receive with this. But the mayor of Strathcona County in Alberta, Rod Frank, said this at an SMR event in Calgary just recently. 10, 15 years ago, even 20 years ago, people would be lined up at the door talking about anti-nuclear because there was an air about what nuclear is and what it sort of the damages that could
They did melt down a few places, I guess.
Not in Canada,
Not
though.
in Canada.
Not in Canada. And I want to make sure I say that on the record,
so
right?
Hopefully they've learned from prior.
Exactly.
Yes.
But now it seems like people are open to the idea that nuclear has to be part of the conversation. And with Uranium City in Saskatchewan finding this huge mine of uranium, with uranium being sold to India in the billions of dollars. Uranium is nuclear. Nuclear is now Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Do you think that the attitude has changed because we understand that buying Canada and building Canada is needed to support Saskatchewan?
Yeah, that definitely helps out for sure. And it's just, people are starting to realize, like I said, obviously there was a couple errors along the way there, but it's a technology that's been around for 50, 60 years. Like nuclear submarines have been out since the 50s and all sorts of stuff like that. So people are starting to realize that. And then obviously the whole, transition into cleaner fuel and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So many people are on board with that. And it's just taken off in that sense. And yes, like Saskatchewan, homegrown, homemade. One thing I've learned in the past, 4 or 5 years is kind of looking after your local, trying not to rely so much on partners or far away things. Anything you can do local is always better, right? So people are realizing that for sure.
So you are, if the official site is the first in Saskatchewan, looking at the economic spin-off of a nuclear build, whether that be an SMR or a larger industrial machine, what do you see as the win for Estevan to host not even the first in Saskatchewan, but a nuclear reactor in general?
It's really a win for Saskatchewan. Obviously, Estevan's going to be the home of it. But we've been learning so much. There's been, our tech hub there, executive director Gordon Moore, he's been working with SIMSA, and they've been doing the nuclear supply. They're getting into the supply side of things, and it's going to be it's a bigger animal than you think. And I know I just can't remember her name off the top of my head. From Darlington, where they're building the SMR right now.
Yep.
And I've had conversations with people from there, and they look at you going, you guys have no idea what's coming, right? So just the amount of people, the amount of support. And it's not just like people building the plant, like it's everything around it. Like nuclear is just such a different animal where you have to have your own police force, your own firefighters, it has its own animal, right? So it's like I said, it's great for Estevan, obviously, as the host, but it's really great for Saskatchewan.
But it's also the region, right? Because the spin-off, not just for you, but and I know there's a rivalry between you, but the spin-off for Weyburn and Estevan, Torquay, Saskatchewan, is going to be big because people will move to these communities and work in these SMRs, whether that be an SMR or a larger facility.
Yeah, and the site, which, like I said, I'm guessing that the site is going to be, basically it's straight south of McCoon, which is, call it halfway in between Weyburn and Estevan. So it's kind of out in the middle there. So everybody, Weyburn, all these little towns, Estevan, again, the whole southeast Saskatchewan is just it's going to be buzzing. And they say that once they pick the site, start the construction, you'll be under construction from anywhere to 8 to 10 years. So it's a different animal that nobody's used to. First one.
Okay, so one of the big things that you and I chatted about when you first came on my show was around the idea that picking the site is good, but starting construction is even better. And it takes a while to build a nuclear facility, whether it be SMR, 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Are you optimistic that it can be started within this term, or are you hoping that it's going to be selected and the shovels are in the ground within the next 5 years? What's your sense?
It just seems we're just always told, like I said, hopefully they'll pick the site this year. But I'm guessing you're going to be that 2029, 2030. So it just that much planning. SaskPower has been great for communicating. The government of Saskatchewan's been great for communicating. Everybody's like keeping the city of Estevan and everybody in the fold. So it's just, that's just, see, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Sorry. No worries. I'll add it. A follow-up question is looking at because energy prices are a lot of concern right now.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes. Yep.
And that's the big thing that people are talking about. When you build a big giant facility like this, it's going to potentially lower prices, and everyone's going to be very happy about that. So when you're looking
I don't see that happening.
You don't see that happening?
Lowering prices?
You don't see lowering prices.
No, nah.
The demand will not. The demand on the current existing facilities will not be there.
What will lower prices, and hopefully is what the plan is. I'm not saying this is the plan.
Hopefully what the plan is. You're challenging me, Tony. Come on.
is Saskatchewan has an abundance of power and everybody around us. Kind of sort of the plan was to bring power into Saskatchewan. It's like full stop on that. Let's be an energy superpower. Yeah, we have a low population. Let's sell our energy around and make money. And obviously revenues, budgets. Yeah. Every province has missed their budgets. So again, it's a revenue. Taxation only goes so far. You can raise taxes all you want, but again, if we can raise revenues through selling power, I'm all in, right? So
that's true.
And then hopefully maybe that benefits. I was joking with an MLA yesterday. We'll sell so much power, we'll be able to take income tax away from people, so they don't have to pay income tax. He had the same reaction as you.
I'm totally not laughing at you, just laughing with you, Tony. Before I let you go, I want to just ask one final question, and it's the big question, is what does this mean for the future of Estevan?
Well, it's 2020. We were going to be a ghost town. We were planning on, obviously we had some city debt. We were planning on hoping to have all that debt gone by 2030. But so here we are in 2026, and you know what I mean. We're gonna rebuild the thermal one more time to bridge us into that nuclear transition. So the future's bright. Like it's everywhere you go, every conference is all about Estevan. Whether you go to Canadian Nuclear, Supply Chain, SIMSA, everything is Estevan, Estevan, Estevan. which is music to my ears, and that was my goal in getting into this political realm, right? So
I will say that you are right, because I was just at the SMR convention in Calgary,
Yeah.
and Estevan came up more often, and every time I thought to myself, I know their mayor. I'm surprised that mayor's not here.
no, that's right. We can't be everywhere, but we definitely try to attend what we can, and it's just for that fact, like the Canadian nuclear one in Saskatchewan last October. First one in Western Canada, and honestly, the city manager and I were there. There's actually a few more representatives from Estevan. Once people from there, like there was 1,000 delegates in the room, just like Suma here. Once they found out we were from Estevan, everybody was all around us asking questions. Obviously, they know that this is the first site, so just asking questions, what they can do, the housing, and all that sort of fun stuff, right? So, no, it's like I said, it's crazy, it's good, and rather be a boom town than a ghost town. So.
And you certainly are a boomtown. Tony, Mayor, thank you so much for doing this.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for tuning in for another edition of Municipal Affairs. This show was brought to you in part by the Johnson Shoyoma Graduate School of Public Policy. Municipal Affairs is where we take a closer look at the people, the policies, and the practical decisions shaping local governments across Saskatchewan and Canada. Now, each episode is designed to dig beneath the headlines and bring forward real-world conversations about the challenges and opportunities facing municipalities of all sizes. Now, if today's discussion was useful, thought-provoking, we encourage you to subscribe to the show. Leave us a review and share this episode with colleagues, friends, council members, or any municipally minded professional who cares about strong local governance. Visit crossbordernetwork.ca to learn about how you can join us for a future episode of Municipal Affairs and contribute to the national conversation on municipal affairs. So until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and thanks again for tuning in to Municipal Affairs.